time machine experiment?
Sorry, I don't.
He's, I guess he's a theoretical physicist out of was it Stanford University in Connecticut, right? Yeah. I guess he postulates that if you twist light enough that you can twist space-time sufficiently to create like a essentially
closed time-like curves, we can go back in time.
Right. Well, yeah. At least send like a subatomic particle stream back through time to when the machine was turned on.
Okay.
Can't go back before the machine would turn.
Sure.
Right. But if such a machine were actually built, could something like that possibly be used to maybe test some of these theories?
Oh boy. You know, you talk about speculation. We're now in speculation squared or something here. You know, how would time travel interface with some of these ideas? Let me just turn it in that direction, and I'll simply say this. One of the big puzzles with time travel, of course, is you go back in time and you affect things in a way that maybe prevents your own existence. You go back and you kill your parents before you were born, and there's a logical paradox. You know, we've seen this played out in Back to the Future. You know, Hollywood loves this idea. You know, there's a variation on the paradox, you know, which comes from the following idea. I mean, imagine, you know, that you travel, imagine you can travel to the future, you know. Imagine I travel to the future, let's just say, and I want to see what's happened in string theory, you know, has it been proven or not, and so forth. So I go to the library or the floating internet station, whatever, and I see that, surprisingly, the theory has made a major advance, and the author of that paper is my mom. And I'm like, that's weird because my mom doesn't like physics, she doesn't know, wants me to be a doctor, you know, not this kind of doctor until I am a doctor, you know, all this sort of stuff. You know, and I look in the acknowledgments to the paper in the future, and she thanks me for teaching her all this physics. And I'm like, holy crap, I better get back, I got a lot of work to do. She doesn't know very much, you know. So I use her little machine, I travel back, and I start to tutor my mother, and man, it's not going well, you know. She's not getting it. A year goes by, 2 years. I'm like, how in the world is she ever going to write that paper? You know, and then I said to myself, I know what was in that paper. I read it. Let me just tell her what to write. So I tell her what to write, and she writes the paper, and everything turns out in the future as I had it. Now, the question is, who gets the credit? Now, you know, it's not a question of credit, really. It's a question of where did the information come from? Did she think of it? No, she got it from me. Did I think of it? No, I got it from her paper. So information, ideas seem to just sort of pop in from thin air if these things are possible. Now, how does this relate to multiple universes? Coming back to that. Here's the possible, fanciful idea that people have floated. Imagine that when you travel to the past, for instance, you never come back to your own universe. You come back, say, in the quantum multiverse, let's use that as an explicit example, you come back to one of those other copies of our universe. So for instance, if I go back in time and kill my parents before I'm born, I wouldn't be born in that universe, but so what? My origin would still be unaffected because my parents would be unaffected in the universe which I started. So that's sort of, but again, it's a little far afield, but at least that's some interaction with time travel.